My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Knock at the Cabin. And anytime I say the title, I have to just think to myself, did I say The Cabin in the Woods or Knock at the Cabin? I get those titles mixed up with each other every now and again. But look, this is a movie I had zero expectations for. I saw the trailer back when I saw Don't Worry Darling, and I just thought it looked ridiculous, and I had zero interest. And instead of seeing this opening weekend, I went and saw Avatar 2 for like the fourth time. It's such a great movie. And then it got available online, so I'm like, fine, let's check it out. And yeah, this movie's really bad. You've got yourself a plot that's kind of like if Frailty, the Bill Paxton movie, combined itself with Funny Games, but it's just a very flat version of that. It doesn't have the great and disturbing psychological elements of Frailty, and it doesn't have the tension of Funny Games. So what you got is just this flat movie that retreads plot points that we've seen plenty of times by this point. But let's get into what I did like about it, and I thought Rupert Grint was the standout. He's not in this movie a bunch, but he has so much energy and personality, and I really enjoyed it when he was on screen. I also do think if you look hard enough, there are some interesting themes on display of beliefs and convictions and how far should you go and sacrifice. I wish it explored all those ideas more, but they are present. And that's where my positives end. Like, this movie is just really boring. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, and it gets started immediately, but it just drags on, and it felt so much longer than it actually is. And my biggest issue is that the movie's really repetitive. The four people break into the house. They tell the family to sacrifice themselves. They say no, and then they do something, and then they show that there's a disaster on the TV, and it's just rinse and repeat that exact formula for the entire movie. And they do try to add moments of action here and there to add excitement, but it's just not enough. It's just more of the same throughout without giving this story any bit of depth, without really digging into the themes, and without exploring the characters in fascinating ways. Like, I could not tell you anything about these characters. They're just very flat and boring, and you get these flashbacks, and I get what they're going for, but I just don't think they were needed. This movie just has no momentum, and it doesn't evolve in interesting ways. And I don't even feel like it explores the family's decision to see which one of them should die. Like, you'd figure that'd be a big part of the movie, but not really. So it's just two guys and their daughter, and they're just tied up for the movie while there's just non-stop exposition. That's the entire movie. And this movie tells and doesn't show so many times. Like, it just explains everything to you like you're an idiot. And I just think it's really bad writing. I also feel like any of the victims who are tied up could have asked the people in charge a lot more questions. Like, I don't know. It just, yeah. There's one moment where Dave Bautista, they think, escaped through a window, but the window's like this big, and you're just like, really? You think he escaped through that? The movie's all rated, and for the life of me, I don't see why. Like, it cuts away like it's a PG-13. On a separate note, I'm so excited that Megan's getting an all-rated Blu-ray release. That's awesome. And then we get to the ending, and I'm keeping it spoiler free, and I'm going to try to explain my point of view the best I can. But I think that there's a bunch of subtext that exists that wasn't the movie's intention. I just find it interesting how so many people are taking the ending differently. Some view it as just being about pure love, but if you read between the lines, I'm not so sure that's the case. I don't know if the movie is for or against this kind of relationship, and it's just kind of messy and completely separate from the rest of the movie, and just everything kind of gets mixed up in this little ending spot. And yeah, you do feel the emotional weight of it though, but yeah, I'm not sure the writing was consistent or good throughout the entire movie. The cast is fine, I guess. Dave Bautista, everybody's talking about how amazing he is in this movie. He gave me exactly the kind of performance I expect from him at this point. He's not bad, but I don't think it's amazing. Jonathan Groff, I'm actually watching Mindhunter right now, and he's great in that show, and he's fine here. I think he really nails the last act of this movie, but up until then, he's a blank slate. Same with Ben Aldridge, he's fine, but doesn't really have enough to do until the end. Nikki Amuka-Bird, she's fine. Christian Q, once again, everybody's saying this is an amazing performance. She's fine. And Abby Quinn is actually pretty decent. Rupert Grint was the standout, like I said, but overall this movie just didn't do much for me. Some interesting ideas on display, but its execution of them is just so muddled and just done in a very lackluster manner. It doesn't evolve, it doesn't have any bit of momentum, it's very repetitive, and it just drags so much for an hour and 40 minutes, and I couldn't care less about any of the characters. The story doesn't have the weight it needed to have, and it's just very forgettable at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and give Knock at the Cabin a 3 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Knock at the Cabin? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.